Most people think respect is earned through words, through credentials, through titles, through what you say and how loud you say it. They are wrong. The most powerful people in history understood something most never figure out. Respect is not spoken, it is felt, and it is manufactured long before you open your mouth. Machiavelli knew this. He wrote about it 500 years ago, and everything he said still holds today. This video is going to teach you how to walk into any room and own it, not by talking more, not by being louder, but by understanding the silent architecture of power. Stay until the end because the last principle is the one most people never learn, and it is the one that separates the forgettable from the unforgettable. Section 1. The principle of first impressions as permanent impressions. Machiavelli said that men judge by their eyes rather than their hands. What he meant was simple. People believe what they see far more than what they hear, and what they see first becomes the lens through which they interpret everything that comes after. The first 3 to 7 seconds when you walk into a room are not neutral. They are a verdict, and most people never recover from a bad one. Think about the last time someone walked into a meeting late, fumbling with their bag, apologizing, looking around for a seat. The rest of that meeting, no matter what they said, they were already losing. Now think about someone who walks in 2 minutes early, moves to a deliberate position, and simply waits. Still, present, composed. The room does not know why, but it registers them differently. This is not luck. This is engineering. Machiavelli did not believe in luck. He believed in preparation dressed up as confidence. You must decide who you are in a room before you walk into it. What is your posture going to be? Where are you going to stand? Where are you going to sit? These are not small decisions. They are the script of your silent performance. The people who command respect without saying a word have rehearsed the moment before it happens. Section 2. The body is a political instrument. Machiavelli wrote extensively about appearances. He said a prince must appear merciful, faithful, humane, sincere, religious, appear, not be. He was not advising dishonesty, he was advising awareness. The body communicates a language older than any spoken tongue, and most people have no idea what their body is saying about them. Slouched shoulders say, I am uncertain of my place here. A tight jaw says I am threatened. Rapid blinking says I am nervous. Eyes that dart say I do not trust this room. None of these things are said with words, but they are heard loudly. Now consider the opposite. A person who moves slowly does so because they are not afraid of taking up time and space. A person who holds eye contact does so because they are comfortable with being seen. A person who keeps their hands visible and still does so because they have nothing to hide and nothing to prove. This is Machiavellian body language, not aggressive, not dominant in the primal sense, but settled, certain, unreadable when they choose to be, and fully present when they decide to show you something. The most powerful posture is not the biggest posture, it is the most intentional one. Stand with your feet about shoulder width apart, not spread wide like you are claiming territory, just grounded, like you grew from the floor. Shoulders back, not pulled back with effort, but drop back with ease. Head level, chin slightly down, not tilted up in arrogance, not angled down in submission. Level, like you are watching the world with the same calm interest, whether it is going well or falling apart. Practice this posture until it becomes automatic, because respect begins the moment your body stops apologizing for being in the room. Section 3. The Machiavellian use of stillness. In The Prince, Machiavelli observed that those who appear unshaken during storms are the ones who are trusted to navigate them. Stillness is rare, and rarity has value. Most people in high-pressure situations fidget. They check their phones. They tap their feet. They laugh nervously. They fill silence with words. These are all signals of anxiety, and anxiety is the enemy of respect. When you are still in a room that is moving, you become the anchor. You become the reference point. People will unconsciously orient themselves toward you. Have you ever noticed how in a group of nervous people, there is always one person whose calm seems contagious? That person is not necessarily the smartest or the most senior. They are simply the most still. Stillness is not passivity. Stillness is controlled readiness. Like a chess player who has already thought 10 moves ahead, and therefore has no reason to rush the current one. The next time you are in a tense situation, try this. Do nothing for 3 seconds longer than feels comfortable. Do not speak. Do not move. Just exist in the moment with complete composure. Watch what happens. The room will lean toward you, because a person who is not afraid of silence is a person who does not need external validation to feel secure, and that is magnetic. Section 4. The politics of entrance and exit. Machiavelli spent enormous time analyzing how rulers entered cities, courts, and chambers, because he understood that the entrance is the first act of a performance and the exit is the one people remember. Your entrance into any room is a statement. Rushing in is a statement. Drifting in is a statement. Walking in with direction and composure is a statement. Choose which statement you want to make and then make it deliberately. When you walk into a room, do not scan it desperately for a friendly face. That signals social insecurity. Instead, pause at the threshold for just a breath. Take in the room from a position of assessment, not anxiety. Then move. Move toward where you intend to be, not toward where you think you are allowed to be. There is a profound difference. The exit is equally important and almost universally neglected. Most people leave rooms apologetically. They trail off. They say goodbye to everyone they can find. They linger in doorways. They back out while still talking. This dissolves whatever power they had accumulated in the interaction. A Machiavellian exit is clean. You conclude. You do not extend. You say what needs to be said, you make your final eye contact with whoever matters most in the room, and you leave. No dramatic farewells, no lingering. The door closes and the impression stays. People remember the end more than the beginning. Make sure yours counts. Section 5. The hierarchy of eye contact. Machiavelli understood that to hold the gaze of a powerful person without flinching was itself an act of power. Eye contact is one of the oldest dominant signals in human communication, but most people either avoid it out of insecurity or overdo it into aggression. Neither serves you. The right use of eye contact is layered. When someone is speaking to you, hold their gaze steadily, not staring, not challenging, just present. This communicates that you are not distracted by your own thoughts or fears. You are fully attending to them. This alone is rarer than you think and makes people feel genuinely seen. When you are the one speaking, use eye contact as punctuation. Make your point, hold the gaze for a beat, then release it. This rhythm signals confidence and control. You are not seeking approval with your eyes. You are delivering a statement and moving on. When you are in a group setting, there is an advanced version of this. Watch who other people look at when they laugh. People instinctively look at the person they most want approval from when something is funny. If the room keeps glancing at you, you are already the social anchor whether you planned it or not. If they are looking at someone else, that is your indicator of the true power center. Machiavelli would study this. So should you. Section 6. Dress as silent authority. Machiavelli advised rulers to present themselves in a way that inspired awe through appearances alone. He understood that before a man speaks, his presentation has already argued for him or against him. Clothing is armor. It is signal. It is a claim about who you are and what category you belong to. And the most powerful thing about it is that it works entirely without words. You do not need expensive clothes to command respect. You need intentional clothes, clean, fitted, appropriate, and then slightly elevated above appropriate. The person who dresses one level above the room sends a message that they are passing through this level on their way somewhere else. There is a principle in behavioral psychology called enclothed cognition. Studies have shown that wearing certain clothes actually changes how you think and behave, not just how others perceive you. When you dress with intention, you are not just managing your image. You are programming your own psychology. Machiavelli would have loved this research. He believed that the performance and the reality eventually collapse into each other. If you dress like a person of authority long enough, you begin to move like one, think like one, and the room begins to treat you like one. Section 7. The power of strategic positioning. In warfare, Machiavelli wrote about the importance of terrain. Hold the high ground, and you change the nature of the battle before a single arrow is fired. The same principle applies to every social environment. Where you position yourself in a room determines how you are perceived before you say a single word. At a dinner table, the person at the head is assumed to lead. In a meeting room, the person who sits at the center of one side carries more natural authority than the person tucked in a corner. In a networking event, the person standing in the open with their back to a wall faces the room with ease, while the person pressed into a corner signals defensiveness. This is not manipulation, it is spatial intelligence. The next time you walk into a room, give yourself 5 seconds to choose your position deliberately. Where can you stand or sit that gives you visibility, access, and composure? Not the most obvious place, not the place you default to out of habit, the place that serves your purpose in that specific room on that specific day. Machiavelli planned every move. He never wandered into a room and hoped for the best. Neither should you. Section 8. Silence as power. This is the one most people never understand. In a world that is louder every year, silence is becoming the rarest currency in social interaction. And like all rare currencies, it has enormous value. Machiavelli observed that rulers who spoke less were feared more, not because they were mysterious for the sake of it, but because every word they did speak carried weight precisely because it was not diluted by the hundreds of words they chose not to say. When you fill every silence with noise, you are revealing yourself. You are showing that you are uncomfortable with uncertainty, that you need to manage the room with words because you cannot manage it with presence. The person who can sit in silence during a negotiation, during a difficult conversation, during a meeting where everyone else is scrambling to fill the void, that person has positioned themselves as the most powerful person in the exchange. Practice silence as an active choice, not as withdrawal, not as coldness, but as deliberate restraint. The words you do not say are often more powerful than the ones you do. And when you finally speak, because you have been silent, the room will lean in. Section 9. The face is a policy document. Machiavelli said a prince must be careful to maintain control of what he projects, because people will read what is on your face and treat it as truth whether it is or not. Your face is always making a statement. The question is whether you are the author of that statement or whether your emotions are writing it without your permission. Most people's faces are open books. Every irritation, every insecurity, every flicker of self-doubt crosses their face in real time, and the people around them read every page. The person who commands respect in any room has learned to author their own face, not to be emotionless. Emotional intelligence is powerful and warmth is magnetic, but they have learned to choose which emotion to display and when. A calm face in a chaotic meeting signals that you have seen worse. A measured smile in a tense negotiation signals that you are not rattled. A still expression when someone is trying to provoke you signals that they do not have access to you that they did not earn. This is not suppression. This is sovereignty. Practice it by becoming aware of what your face does by default under pressure. Most people have never actually examined this. Film yourself in a stressful conversation or simply notice yourself in the mirror during a difficult phone call. Then decide what you want your face to say and practice saying it deliberately. Section 10. The final principle, becoming the reference point. Here is the principle most videos on this topic never reach. Machiavelli's deepest insight about power was not about any single technique. It was about identity. He said that the prince who is truly powerful does not react to the room reacts to him. Every technique in this video, the posture, the stillness, the eye contact, the silence, the positioning, they are all in service of one thing: becoming the reference point in the space you occupy. The reference point is the person others unconsciously calibrate against. When something happens in the room, people glance at them. When a decision needs to be made, the energy moves toward them. When tension rises, people wait to see how they respond before deciding how they feel. You become the reference point not through aggression, not through volume, not through status alone. You become it through consistency, through showing up the same way every time regardless of the pressure, through never letting the room's chaos become your chaos, through being so grounded in who you are and how you carry yourself that the environment around you adjusts to you rather than the other way around. This takes time. It takes daily practice. It takes the willingness to be uncomfortable with silence, with stillness, with being seen. But once you achieve it, No credential, no title, and no speech can replicate it. You will walk into rooms and something will shift, not because of what you say, but because of what you are. Machiavelli was writing about princes and republics and warfare, but what he was really writing about was the nature of human perception and power. And human perception has not changed. We are still reading the same signals, still trusting stillness over noise, still being drawn to the person who does not need the room's approval to feel secure. You do not need a throne. You do not need a crown. You need to understand that every room you walk into is a stage, and you have a choice. You can wander onto it unprepared, or you can walk on knowing exactly who you are, where you stand, and what you are here to do. Start with your posture, then your silence, then your entrance. Build from there, because respect is not given to those who ask for it loudest. It is given to those who need it least. Apply one thing from this video today, and the room will never feel the same again.